Hello friends, this will be tutorial number 63 in this C++ programming course. In this tutorial we will create one interesting application. It will be a futsal game. And for that we will need to create, first we will create a new project for that. It will be console application, and we will click next. Of course it will be C++, and now we need a project title. It will be futsal game, the name of the project. Let's go next. We will leave this default as it is, and we have our project futsal game is here. Now we will open this main. We will have just hello world here, but first I want to show you one thing. For example, we want main CPP file, but we will not use this main. For example, we want to create a futsal.cpp file. To do this, let's create new here, and let's create empty file. Okay, we save it. We will, and let's create the name of the file will be futsal.cpp. Let's save, click OK, and now we have our futsal CPP file created. And now, for example, if we want to this futsal.cpp file to be the main, we can simply copy this entire from the main. Of course we can write it manually, but to save some time, here we will click on copy, and here we will do the paste. And now if we want to build and run this project, it will not be possible because we have two main. In both files we have a main. But what can we do? For example, we can delete this main.cpp. We don't need it anymore. Let's remove this file from the project, and only we'll have this futsal.cpp. Now if we want to build and run this, of course we have this hello world, the default hello world application. We don't need it anymore, but we just wanted to see if everything works properly. Now let's create our futsal application. First we will need a class. We will need a player class. Let's create it. Class player without destructor. Let's include it in our project. We have player.age and player.cpp file, and we will use this IRstream and namespace standard. I will copy it to our player CPP file, and this namespace standard I will copy and paste it here in player class. This is good. Now this player will have some private fields. It will have a name and jersey, a number of jersey. Name will be string, and jersey will be an integer. This is good. We have a field which is string. That means that we need to include a string and we will include a string here also. Now let's we have our default constructor, and which is empty. Now we want to create parameterized constructor. When we worked our 100 meters race simulation, we have, for example, a string A, then integer B. We had some files of this, but in this case, in the parameterized constructor, we will use the private fields that we have: string name and integer jersey. I will show you. I will explain you later. And we will need a getters. We don't need setters, we will just use getters here. Let's create one string. It will be get name. And integer get jersey. And we need two void functions. First one will be score, which will have one parameter, which will be an integer, minute. These functions, when, for example, if a player score a goal, we want the information that player with that jersey number and with name has scored a goal if, for example, minute is 5 in 5th minute. And we will need one more void function, which will be info. It will need us for info about player. That will be good. Now let's define it all in a player CPP. Okay, first it's already defined by default, our default constructor, but let's define a parameterized constructor. Now here we are using string name and integer jersey, and now I want to show you this keyword. What is the this keyword? When we are, as you remember from our previous application about 100 meters, we had, for example, here string A and integer B, and for example we could type here name equals to A and the jersey equals to B. That means that with that it will work, but our program with that he suppose that we are working with current object. But when we are using this keyword, our program knows that 100%, he is 100% sure that we are working with current object, and we are using this, and we have a name equals to name, and the same thing we will do for the jersey. This jersey will be equals to jersey, and this is our parameterized constructor. This is the function of the this keyword. With this, our program is sure that this is just current object. 100, he is 100% sure. That's good. And in the future we will using this keyword. And now let me see what we have a getters. Let's write string. We need the player. Get name. Let's define it. It will return a name. We don't have setters this time, but when we are working with setters, we will also, when we creating a setters, we will also use this keyword. But I will show you in some of the next tutorials. And we need integer player get jersey, it will return us a jersey. Now let's define our functions. We have a void functions. Okay, score with integer minus, player score with, just a moment, integer minus. We need a sentence. Let's write. We will write. We can start with /n. We will write player this will be information when some player scores a goal. And now we will need a jersey, a comma, and let's write a semicolon, and let's continue here. Now we need a player name, and let's write has scored a goal in and we need a minus, and we need the text dot minus. This will be a score function and line here. This is just for information when some player scores a goal. And now we need an info function. Here is the info function. This will be information about player. Out. It will be the similar, just we will not have a score here. Player we need a jersey, and we need a name. And that will be all. I think this will work properly. Now and we can format this classes player.age and player.cpp. Let me see if I added, yes, I added string here. And also I added string here. Now let's go to the CPP. But we need to include some things. We will include string here. We also need to include our class player. We will use a vectors, and we will use a random numbers here. That means that we need to include random and ctime library. Okay, and now it's a futsal game. That means that futsal team can has 5 players, and let's create one static constant integer it will be team squad will be equals to 5. Each team will have 5 players, and we will create 2 static vectors. One will be for team 1 and the second will be for team 2. It will be a vector of players. And let's create static vector of player. First one will be team 1. And we will create one more. We will just copy and paste it. We will need, it will be team number 2. And we will create one static random generator to, maybe we will need 2 or 3 times, I don't know. It is better to create, it will be static empty 1937. We will use it. It will be a random generator with time 0. This will need us for the random number, for creating a random numbers. Okay, we don't have, this will be an empty application, but I need to build and run to see if everything will work properly, and it will not, just a second. I forgot here, as you can see, I forgot in CPP to write here string name and integer jersey. My mistake. Let me see if it will run now. We don't, just a second. Yes, we forgot semicolon here. And let's build and run now. Okay, now it works fine. But just to show you, if you have error now, if you did everything properly and you still have an error, I already show you. Here in the compiler, if for example, if you don't have here C++ 70, for example, I will try now. If I try to build and run now, okay, now it works. But something sometimes when we have if we because now it works because we didn't use this random generator, but it is better if you didn't have this turned off. It is better to be turned on. C++ 17 in compiler. Now let's continue with our application. Now what we want to do, we want to create teams, and for that we will need a function. Let's create a function. It will be a void create teams function. Okay, here we will need some variables. We will have string name. We will have integer jersey. This will be just these are not filled. These are variables, simple variables, local variables. And we will need one x here, which will also be an integer. And now what we want to do? We want to create 2 teams. Okay, we have 2 static vectors of player, team 1 and team 2, but there are no players inside. We need to create 5 players for team 1 and for team number 2. We need a while loop. While we will write while team, first we will use team 1 dot size. I didn't write, is lesser than team squad, because squad can have only 5 players. And before this while loop we will write enter the players of team 1 and line. And now first we can initialize with with this x with 0, and let's write a sentence. Enter the name of player and it will be x plus 1. And now let's input. We will use get line scene, and we will use variable name. And now we need to define jersey. We need to use uniform in distribution variable. It will be integer, and we will need a function. We will create a function get number. The players will have the number from 1 to 99. And let's define jersey will be equals. Let's use get number function, and inside we will use a this static random generator. But without these brackets, it will be just inside the bracket. Okay. And we defined name and the jersey variables. Now we want to create a player, and we want also to allocate this player in the memory. How we gonna do that? We'll just create one player. It will be p with pointer. This means that we will allocate this p in the memory will be equals to new player, and we need to use our parameters, and we will use these variables name and jersey, and our player is created and allocated in memory. What we need to do now, we need to add this player to team1 vector. Team1 dot push back. We will add this player to the vector. When we added already this player to our vector team1, okay, we need to do this 5 times, but we don't need this player is allocated in the memory, but we don't need it anymore because he's already added to the vector. And to empty our memory, we need to delete this player. To clean our memory, we will just use delete p. We already know how to use dynamic memory allocation. We did it in the previous tutorial. And we need to increment this x. Okay, we are not using this x to stop this loop. This loop will stop when we have five players in the team 1 vector. But we use this x. For example, here will be entered the name of the player 1, player 2, and it will repeat 5 times, and it needs to be incremented. Now what can we can copy this entire. We will use the same thing. I will use a copy to save some time. I will copy this and I will paste it. Okay, now we will need /n and enter the players of team. This time will be team 2. Again, our integer x equals to 0. Okay, we put it back to the 0. And now here, instead of team 1, we will use team 2. And okay, it will be the same. We will use the same uniform in distribution. Okay, we have jersey. We define name and jersey. And here, instead of team 1 pushback, we will use team 2 pushback, and it will create 5 players for team 2, which will be the great. I think but we cannot see if it will work properly. For this, we will need to create another function. This first function is only to create 2 teams. Now we need to show the teams. Let's create a void function. The name of the function will be show teams. First we will write a message. Here are the lineups. /n here, and here also we can use /n and line. And now we will write here team 1. And we will need one unsigned integer x, which will be 0. And let's iterate over first vector. We need a while loop. While x is lesser than team 1 dot size. Now we will need info function team 1 of element x dot we will need info function, and we need to increment this x, and that will be fine. And we will just copy this. We will do the same thing for the second one, but here we will just write x equals to 0, and here it will be team number 2, and x will be lesser than team 2 dot size, and here will be team number 2 of element x, because now we are using another vector, and I think this should work properly. And now let's call these functions to our main to see if it will work. Maybe we have some error, we will see. First we are calling create teams, now we are calling the method show teams, and let's build and run this to see if everything okay. Enter the players of team 1. Now enter the name of player 1. Okay, we will use Brazilian and Argentinian players. Ronaldinho. Player 2 will be Romario. I don't know, Bebeto. Just a second. Now player 4 will be Jalminha. We can use two words, Roberto Carlos. It will be team 1. As you can see, now we have entered the players of team 2. Let's type some Argentinian players. Okay, Zanetti, Crespo, I don't know, Riquelme, Caniggia, and we can type Maradona, of course. And okay, this is not okay. Here are the lineups: team 1, player 1. Okay, but this shouldn't have a space, and we have a space here. We don't need a space here. I will see this. Okay, this works properly, but it needs to be displayed better. I will see where is the problem. Maybe info. Let me see, maybe info function, maybe it has a problem. Let me see if I use. Okay, yes, my mistake. Here in info we don't need /n. And here, let me see. And here team 2 will be needed /n. The rest should be fine. Let me type once more. Okay, Kaká, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Marcelo, Edmundo, some of the famous Brazilian players, and okay, Zanetti, Crespo, Cordoba is not, they are not Argentinians, but okay, we can just type, it doesn't matter. Okay, Riquelme should play too, and okay, here are the lineups, and now it's a better, as you can see, each player has his, as you can see, team 1, each player has its own number, and we have team number 2, and which this works perfectly fine. We created 2 teams successfully. Now what we need to create, we need a game. They need to play a game. And how we gonna do that? For that we will need another function. It will be a void function, and we will create a game. And we will need couple of variables here. Integer minus, and we can initialize with 1. Why is that? Okay, the game will last 40 minutes, and start. It will not when game start. It will start from first minute. It will not start from 0. That's why I use a minus variable. We will need an integer chance for score, and we will need couple more integers, team 1 score, and we will, of course, we will initialize with 0 bit, because the game start, both the result at the start of the game will be 0, 0, and the same will be with team 2 score will be equals to 0. Now what we want to do, the game will okay, it will be 40 minutes will be played, and we will need now a while loop. While, but before that we will write a message cout the match begins. And line I can use /n here, maybe I can use /n here. Okay, it's good. Now let's continue. While minute is lesser than 40. It will not be, it will be a lesser or equal because it will be 40 minutes played. 40 will also be included. And now we need to define a chance. What chance will be? It will be a random integer number. It will be from 1 to 9, for example. Let's create a uniform int distribution, and it will be int. We will create a get number function. Get number, it will be from 1 to 9. And chance will be equals, let's call get number function, and inside we will use as a parameter, we will use random generator without brackets. It will be just inside the bracket. Okay, what this means, we will have, okay, it will be 10 numbers from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we have a number, these are 10 numbers. For example, if we have numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, if chance is equals with one of that numbers, this will be the chance for team 1 to score. Otherwise, it will be the chance for team number 2 to score. Okay, and let's write it. If chance is lesser or equal to 4, and let's create one unsigned integer, x will be equals to 0. And now let's iterate over vector team 1 while x is lesser than team 1 dot size, and let's create condition. Okay, we have already our minute that will increase, and if for example team 1 has a chance to score, and for its 5th minute of the game, if we have if some player of team 1 has a number 5, he will score the goal. And let's write it. If minute equals to team 1 of element x dot get jersey, this player will score. Team 1 of element x will score, and as a parameter we will take a minute, of course. And what this means, we also need to increment team 1 score. Let's write team 1 score plus plus, and we need to write the current score. Current score team 1, team number 2, and now we will write team 1 score, a little space, and team 2 score. Okay, this will be good, and before this while loop ends, we need to increment x. And here where this if statement ends here, but we need the same thing in the else statement for the team 2. For example, if chance is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, this will be the chance for team 2 to score. And now we will just use this the same. We will paste it to save some time, and here we will use, instead of team 1 size, we will use team 2 size. Minute will be equals to team 2 of element x, and also here we will use team 2 instead of team, and here will be team 2 score will increase. The rest should be the same, and this else ends here. Let me just format this code a little bit. Okay, this while loop. Here where while loop, before while loop ends, okay, else statement ends here. I don't know, but I think, just a second, else statement is ending here. After this else statement, I will need to increment minute. But I'm not sure if maybe I missed some. I think that I will need one more closing bracket. Let me format this source code. Okay, we will see how it will work. And after this ends, we need to write a statement end of the match let's write /n and let's write the final score. Final score team 1, team 2, let's do team 1 score. And team 2 score. And now we just want to see who won the match. Let's write if team 1 score is greater than team 2 score, then we will have a statement cout team 1 is the winner and line, and let's write else if condition. It will be team 1 score is lesser than team 2 score. Let's write a condition. It will be, let me just copy this statement. We will write team 2 is the winner, and we will have else statement. In case of draw, we will write the match has no winner or ended as draw. You can write whatever you like. This is just one example, and we need to call this game function. Let me source. Okay, I can format this source code, but here is formatted already, and here in the futsal let's format this source code. Okay, this if else statement is better and more visible now. Now we will see if it will work properly. I don't know, I'm not so sure about. Maybe we have some curly braces. Okay, it works. Let me see how it will gonna work. Let's create a Brazilian players: Romario, Ronaldo, Bebeto, Jalminha, and okay, Bebeto Jalminha is one player. Now we, okay, let's create Robinho and Willian. Okay, player now 2 will have Batistuta, Aymar, Canija, Riquelme, and Zanetti. And here it is. Here are the lineups, team 1 and team 2, and let me see the result. Okay, the match begins. As you can see, player 2 Zanetti has scored a goal in 2nd minute, and current score, but we need a little bit more space. Current score team 1 versus team 2 is 0-1. Okay, Robinho has equalized in 9th minute, and the current score is 1-1. And player number 12, Canija, has scored a goal in 12th minute, and the current score is 2-1 for team 2, and end of the match final score is 1-2. Okay, we need to it works good, but we need to repair it. Okay, the point is it can score a player from number if have a jersey number from 1 to 40. But as you can see here in team 1 is number 2 Ronaldo, and he didn't score. That is because of chance. Probably in the second minute it wasn't the chance for team 1, it was a chance for team 2. Of course it is, because we have, okay, as you can see, we have a player number 2 in team 2, and it was in the second minute it was a chance for team 2, and team 2 scored. But now we will need, let me see what's wrong here. Okay, final score is good, but we need, I think, where is the final score? Okay, we forgot end line here. We want to this look. Okay, and we can use a space. Final score is good, and end of the match can be, just a second, where is the end of the match? But end of the match will be better now. And now we can just, I think, where is the player? Okay, let me see how it will be. How it will be now. Current score, I think current score needs end line also here. That's the problem in both terms. And here also. I think that should be better. Now we can just close this and we can build and run again. I think it will be more readable now. Okay, let's create the players. Kaka, William, Oscar. Oh, I type. Okay, it doesn't matter. Marcelo and Jalminha. Okay, that will be the players of team 1. Team 2 will have Aymar, Zanetti, Ayala, Batistuta, and Crespo. Interesting. Okay, and now it is better, and again, but okay, now we have again team number 2 won the game. Player 16, as you can see, 16 William has scored the goal in 16 minutes, and the current score is 1-0. As you can see, William, it has number 16, and as you can see, now player 23 Zanetti had scored a goal in 23 minutes, and the current score is 1-1. And player number 25 Batistuta has scored a goal in 25 minutes, and current score is 1-2. Okay, but we have identical result. End of the match, final score, and team 2 is the winner. Now it works better, and we can just try once again. We have identical result. I hope that we will have another result. Okay, let's type Kaka, Jalminha, William, Mauro Silva. Okay, and we can have Maxwell, and here Argentinian players. Okay, now we forgot Higuain, Aguero, Riquelme, Crespo and Kempes. We can use Kempes. Okay, now it's again the result is 2-1, but it's okay. Now team 1 score. As you can see, player 5 Mauro Silva has scored a goal in 5th minute, and player number 22 Kaka has scored a goal in 22 minutes. 2-0, and as you can see, player 35 Riquelme has scored a goal in the 35, but again the result is 2-1. This works properly, but I'm admire why always I have the same result. But okay, let's create just a simple A, B, C, D, E. We will create V, Q, R, X and Y. Let's create players. As you can see, now the result is we have the lineups. As you can see, now the result is 1-0, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what type of names we are putting. It is just a random number. The most of them, it depends which numbers. The point is, players can score the goal from number 1 until number 40, because and depending of the chance. As you can see, team number 2 couldn't score in this game, and as you can see, team 1, we have these numbers. As you can see, only number 16 could score, and in the 16th minute it was a chance for team 1, and this player scored. Otherwise the result could be 0-0, but this application works perfectly fine. I really hope that you understand it well, and that you will play a little bit with this application. I really hope that you like this application. If you like this application, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next tutorial.